What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today I'm taking a look at the sneaker releases in the first half of October 2019 and I'm letting you know whether I think each one of these shoes is going to sit on shelves or sell out. Before we jump into things, I want to give a huge thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Reshoevn8r. I don't know if you saw my most recent unboxing video, and not to ruin it, but I did grab the Nike Sakai LD Waffles in the Summit White colorway. This shoe cost me a lot, probably a lot more than it needed to, but because of that, I really want to keep this sneaker looking fresh, and that becomes even harder because it's a white and gray sneaker. So in order to keep this shoe looking cleaner, newer, and fresher for longer, I use Reshoevn8r's water and stain repellent. It's great for nubuck, suede, canvas, nylon, polyester, and more. And a lot of those materials are on this shoe, so the shoe will definitely be protected with this water and stain repellent. In order to protect your sneakers, you want to make sure that the shoe is clean and dry. It's actually best to do it when the sneaker is brand new. Then you want to shake up your Reshoevn8r water and stain repellent and apply from about 6 to 8 inches away. Apply it like spray paint in smooth strokes, and don't be afraid to apply it liberally. I personally think the shoe is best protected when you use 2 to 3 coats, so what you want to do is after your first coat, let it completely dry before applying the second coat. Same thing for the third coat, and then usually then I want to let the shoe sit overnight before I actually wear it. But that's pretty much it, and then the shoe is good to go, and I'm not afraid to wear this pretty much anywhere that's not like a mud puddle. So if you would like to check out the Reshoevn8r water and stain repellent for yourself, make sure to check out the link in the description below and use my code SETH10 for 10% off your entire order. That includes not only the water repellent, but also everything on their site, which is cleaning products, shoe trees, pretty much anything that you need for sneaker care. Again, that code is SETH10, and even if you don't grab anything today, just make sure to use that code and you'll still get 10% off. But moving on to the actual sit or sell video itself, like I said before, we're going to be taking a look at the first half of October 2019. So that's October 1st through around October 15th. Now I do have to say one thing, there are not a lot of sneakers dropping in the first half of October, and I'm really surprised to see that because we're getting closer to the holidays, but the sneakers that are dropping are pretty solid. As always, please don't base your buying decisions off what I say in this video. All my ratings are based on my own personal opinion, and a lot of times I get things wrong. Only buy a sneaker because you like it and not because some random dude on the internet told you to. But with all of that out of the way, let's jump right into the month on October 1st. The first shoe dropping is the Nike Kyrie Low 2 in the black and metallic silver colorway. I've never actually tried a pair of the Kyrie Low 2s or even the Kyrie Low 1s for that matter, but I feel like it's just kind of a budget Kyrie. I also know that technically the Kyries aren't low top sneakers, but they feel low enough for me, and I'm pretty happy with the way that they feel on foot, both on court and just for lifestyle wear. The Kyrie Low 2 is a budget version of Kyrie's signature line, and in this black and metallic silver colorway, it's really nothing special. And because of that, I really don't think anyone's going to be picking up this sneaker, so for that reason, I'm giving this shoe a sit. Speaking of Kyries, the next release is the Kyrie 5 Graffiti. Even though the shoe isn't explicitly called the Kyrie 5 Brooklyn Graffiti, that's really what the shoe is based on, and it comes in the Brooklyn Nets colorway. A majority of the upper comes in tonal gray, you've got some oranges and purples in that strap across the midfoot, and it's not a bad looking sneaker, but like the Kyrie Low 2s, it's just kinda eh. It's not a bad sneaker, it's just not anything special, so again, I'm giving this shoe a sit. Following that up, we've got the Nike PG3 Diamond. Now the naming of this shoe is interesting because a majority of the sneaker is black. I didn't even notice the diamond hits until I really got a closer look at the shoe. What the diamond naming apparently is referring to is Diamond Supply Co., who uses a lot of Tiffany blue in all their products and in their logo. And this shoe has hits of Tiffany blue. I don't think this is actually a collaboration with Diamond, but that's really my only thing with the shoe is the naming, the diamond name. I don't really get why they would call it that. Just call a spade, it's a black PG3. That's kind of all there is to it. And it's not a bad shoe like the other Kyries that we just talked about, but it's nothing special again. So for that reason, this shoe's getting a sit. And then rounding off October 1st, we've got the Adidas LX Con 94 in aqua blue, orange, and white. This is a slightly different take on the Adidas LX Con or LX Con or however you're supposed to pronounce it, and it looks fine. It definitely looks like a lot of Adidas's recent dad shoes, and there's nothing wrong with that. But in my opinion, this is just too little, too late for the LX Con model, and I don't think it's anything that anyone's really interested in. And of course, as with every other shoe on the first, I think this sneaker is going to sit. Before we move on, there was actually a shoe that I was pretty excited about on October 1st called the Air Force 1 Low in the What the LA colorway. It's a really cool and out there looking sneaker. I love the colors, I love the aesthetic of the shoe, I love the fact that they're going all in on this What the theme. But unfortunately, it looks like it got moved back to November 1st. Had this shoe released on October 1st, I definitely think it would have sold out, not only because it looks good, but also because it's limited. Then moving on to October 3rd, we've got the Nike LeBron 17 in the black and white colorway. The LeBron 17 is having somewhat of a staggered release. The first release was this white colorway that dropped early on the sneakers app for some people and then dropped again like I think a week after that. That version seemed more like a special edition, and this black and white colorway seems like the first GR colorway to drop. Personally, I'm not overly excited about the LeBron 17. I do think it's a good looking sneaker, and I think this black and white colorway looks great. However, the LeBron shoes ride so high off the ground because there's so much air cushioning in the midsole, and that's been true for the last, 17 models. It's just not been a sneaker that I can actually play basketball in, and it's also not a shoe that I would ever really wear casually. That said, I think the technology that went into the shoe is really interesting, and I think the industrial design behind the sneaker is great. It's just not something that I feel like I need to pick up. And because this shoe is probably going to have a very widespread release, I have trouble seeing this shoe selling out. Next up is a brand new take on the Air Force One, the Air Force One Low Shadow. This shoe is sort of a weird mashup between the John Elliott Air Force One Low and the Off-White Air Force One Low. It has a bunch of features that have been moved around and mismatched and sort of doubled, and it's got an interesting look and one that I'm not opposed to. That said, it does still feel like a rip on John Elliott and Off-White, but technically those were both collaborations with Nike, and it's a Nike sneaker, so they can do whatever they want. I don't really have any idea of how limited this shoe is going to be, but if I had to guess, I would assume somewhat limited. And that, combined with the fact that this shoe looks pretty similar to other popular collaborations, I could see this shoe selling out. Then, rounding off October 3rd, we've got a pretty highly anticipated re-release of the Adidas Ultra Boost 1.0 in the solar yellow colorway. Now, to be fair, the shoe isn't exactly the same as the original release. There are some differences on the midfoot cage and also the actual rubber that was used on the outsole, but overall it is a very similar shoe. When the solar yellow first released back in like 2015 or 2016, no one that I really know of was that excited about it. But as time went on and the Ultra Boost became more and more popular and even harder to get, the shoe became much more expensive. And of course, when the shoe became more expensive, more people wanted it, and then more people had fond memories of trying to grab it. And for that reason, I do think a lot of people are excited about this re-release. It's definitely not my favorite Ultra Boost in the world, but it's not bad, and I do think it'll drop in somewhat limited quantities, and people are still excited about it. So for that reason, I think it's gonna sell. Then on October 4th, we've got the grade school release of the Air Jordan 12 Hot Punch. This shoe is bright. This shoe is just a whole mess of bright, and it's definitely not my thing. But at the same time, it doesn't even fit me, so why do I care? If you or someone in your life loves this color palette, this is the perfect shoe for you. It is not something for me, it is not something for anyone that I know, but I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's just a crazy bright Air Jordan 12. Because of the aesthetic, we'll say, of this shoe, I don't think a lot of people are going to be drawn to it, and for that reason, I think this shoe is going to sit. Then on October 5th, we've got the Air Jordan 9 Gym Red. I'm not really a huge Air Jordan 9 fan, but there's something about this white upper with this really nice red patent leather that gets me, and I don't know what it is. I'm gonna let you guys in on a little something that I've learned through doing YouTube for 3 or 4 years. If you see a lot of people reviewing a shoe like 3 weeks early, there's a lot of that shoe available. It's not going to be a hard shoe to get. So for example, I've already seen like 5 or 6 reviews of the Air Jordan 9 Gym Red, which leads me to believe that it's going to be a GR. Now, does that take away from how nice the shoe looks? Of course not. It's still a shoe that I'm going to try and pick up. But for me personally, I might wait till it goes on sale. Of course, there is still a chance that it could sell out, and if it's really a shoe that you've been looking forward to, grab it on release day because you never know, but in my opinion, I think this shoe is going to sit. Then moving on to October 9th, we've got the John Elliott LeBron Icon in Parachute Beige. I love this silhouette. This is like the one LeBron silhouette that I really like. In fact, this colorway too is pretty clean. And it really surprises me how few people are actually into this sneaker. It really blows my mind. Of course, that first black and white colorway sold out, but since then, none of the other colorways have, and I'm really blown away because I think it's a dope looking sneaker. That said, I don't think there's enough interest in this shoe, and I think it's going to be just like all the other LeBron icons that dropped recently. I think it's gonna sit. Then on October 10th, we've got another Adidas Ultra Boost 1.0 Retro, this time in the solar orange colorway. Like the solar yellows, the solar oranges aren't exactly the same as the original. There's some color changes, and of course the outsole rubber is different. And again, I think people are still pretty excited about this sneaker because of that nostalgia factor that came from high resale values. I still don't personally love it. If I had to choose between the two, I'd probably go with the solar yellows over the solar oranges, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a lot of people out there who really want to grab this shoe. However, unlike the solar yellows, I don't think this shoe is as popular, and for that reason, I think the shoe is going to sit. Following that up, we've got the Nike LeBron 17 in the Lakers colorway. This is my absolute favorite LeBron 17. I love purple, and I love the fact that this shoe is a primarily black and purple shoe. But my favorite part about the shoe is that they actually wove in gold around the heel. I think that look is so dope. Like I said earlier, the LeBron 17 is not something I'd really want to pick up if it wasn't for a review or something like that. But this shoe I like. I just probably won't pick it up, I'll just admire it from a distance. Like the black and white LeBron 17, I think there will be a lot of pairs of this shoe available, and for that reason, I think the shoe is going to sit. After that, we've got the Air Jordan 34 in the white cement colorway. This is the second Air Jordan 34 colorway to drop, and in my opinion, this is actually the best. The 34 has a very slight resemblance to the Air Jordan 4, and because of that, it has a few Air Jordan 4 details, like the Nike Air branding on the heel, and in this particular case, it looks like this shoe is loosely based on the white cement 4s. I've actually been thoroughly impressed with the Air Jordan 34 and the technology that they've put into the shoe, and not only that, I think it's a good-looking performance basketball sneaker. That said, are there enough people who are that excited about this colorway to make this shoe sell out? I don't think so. I think the shoe's gonna sit. And then rounding off October 10th with a banger, we've got two different colorways of the Sakai Nike Blazers. Sakai's collaboration with Nike up to this point has been a huge success, and I think these Blazers are gonna be no exception. The two colorways that are dropping on the 10th are the black colorway and the white colorway, and in my personal opinion, I think the black colorway is the way that I would go. They're both really interesting looking shoes because the idea behind the collaboration was to actually put two different models into one sneaker. So in the case of the Sakai Nike Blazers, the shoe is actually a mashup of the Nike Blazer and the Nike Dunk High. That's how you get all the double details like the double tongue and the double Nike swoosh. As with every sneaker in the Sakai Nike collaboration, I'd be happy with any of them. And of course, both of these colorways are going to be very limited and definitely going to sell out. Then moving on to October 12th, the last day that we're covering in this sit or sell video, we've got the Adidas Harden Volume 4 in the Barbershop colorway. This is the very first Harden Volume 4 colorway to drop, and as the name would suggest, it's inspired by barbershop poles. The upper of the shoe comes in black, and the outsole of the sneaker features blue, white, and red, and I've got to admit, the Harden Volume 4 is a pretty decent looking sneaker. One thing to keep in mind with the Harden Volume 4 is that it no longer uses boost and uses a different kind of cushioning setup, which I actually think is a good thing because it won't feel as unstable. I may or may not pick up this shoe to try out. I'm kind of leaning towards not grabbing it, but if you guys want me to, let me know in the comment section down below and I'll try and grab a pair for you. That said, I really don't think it would be hard to grab a pair because I definitely see this shoe sitting. After that, we've got a collaboration with Tyler the Creator and Converse on the Chuck 70 High called the Flame. This is like an aqua blue Chuck High with some very thin flame detailing around the shoe. I'm not personally a fan, but I'm also not really a huge fan of Tyler the Creator either, so it's not really something that I want to pick up. However, I do know a lot of people who are very excited about this collaboration and who might just run out and grab it as soon as it drops. So honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this shoe sold out. And then rounding off the video, we have the infamous release of the Travis Scott Air Jordan 6s. This shoe has had so many rumored release dates and they've all been wrong, but I think this one is actually the real one. Because of all the different release dates, I put this shoe in a bunch of different sit or sell videos, so you already know probably all there is to know about this shoe. But it's an olive green Air Jordan 6 Travis Scott collaboration with a stash pocket on the lateral side and a glow-in-the-dark sole, and overall, it's not a bad looking sneaker, it's just not as hot as the Air Jordan 1, at least in my opinion. But of course, recently, anything with Travis Scott's name on it has sold out instantly, and I think this shoe will be no different. I think the shoe is gonna sell. But now I would love to know your thoughts on the sneakers releasing in the first half of October and which one of these shoes you're looking forward to and which ones you just don't really care about. So let me know in the comment section down below. Once again, huge thank you to Reshoevn8r for sponsoring today's video. If you would like to check out any of Reshoevn8r's fine sneaker cleaning products, make sure to click the link in the description below and use my discount code SETH10 for 10% off your entire order. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.